Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding $100,000 in your bank account. No debt, no overdue bills, no financial emergencies. For the first time in your life, you can finally breathe. Now imagine waking up 3 years later, and somehow, you're broke again. Sounds impossible? It isn't. And here's the part that should scare you. You don't necessarily need more money to break the pattern. You need to understand why your brain keeps rebuilding the same financial life at a different income. Let's call him Michael. Michael grew up hearing one sentence over and over. We can't afford that. It wasn't always dramatic. Sometimes it was about a pair of shoes, sometimes a restaurant, sometimes a school trip. But Michael learned something very early. Money disappears. Good months don't last. And having more doesn't necessarily mean you're safe. Fast forward 20 years. Michael gets a new job. His salary jumps from $45,000 to $80,000. For the first few weeks, he feels like his life has changed. Then something strange happens. He gets a nicer apartment, upgrades his car, starts eating out more, adds subscriptions, takes better vacations. Nothing feels irresponsible. In fact, each purchase feels justified. And 6 months later, Michael is making more money than he's ever made. But he's still waiting for payday. Now here's where most financial advice gets this wrong. They'd tell Michael, you need more discipline. Make a budget. Stop spending. Save more. And those things can help, but they don't explain the deeper question. Why did Michael automatically recreate the same financial pressure after his income changed? Because his income changed, but his financial thermostat didn't. Think about a thermostat. You set it to a temperature that feels normal. If the room gets too cold, the system works to bring it back up. If it gets too hot, it brings it back down. Your brain can do something surprisingly similar with money. If you grew up around scarcity, your brain can become accustomed to a certain level of financial stress, checking your balance, worrying about the next bill, feeling guilty when you spend, expecting something to go wrong whenever things start going well. That level of uncertainty becomes familiar. And here's the uncomfortable part. Sometimes, familiar feels safer than better. Think about a time when money was actually going well for you. Maybe you got a bonus, a raise, a big payment. You looked at your bank account and thought, finally, I'm getting ahead. But then, you felt an itch. You wanted to buy something, fix something, upgrade something, give money away, or suddenly spend on things you had been putting off. And before you knew it, that comfortable number was gone. Have you ever done that? Because if you have, it doesn't automatically mean you're irresponsible. Sometimes your brain is simply trying to return you to a financial situation. That feels familiar. This is why some people can earn more without ever feeling richer. They don't necessarily spend more because they're greedy. They spend because abundance feels temporary. Somewhere in the back of their mind is a belief. Enjoy it now. Something could happen. This won't last. You should probably use it before it's gone. So the money arrives, and instead of becoming security, it becomes consumption. The income rises, the lifestyle rises, the anxiety stays, and eventually, the person is broke at a higher number. And this is why I don't think the question should always be, how do I make more money? Sometimes the better question is, what happens inside me when I finally have it? Because if your behavior doesn't change, more money can simply give your old habits a bigger budget. So how do you actually change it? Not with motivational quotes, not by pretending you're suddenly a completely different person. Start with 3 things. 1. Notice the itch. The next time your bank account looks better than usual, and you suddenly want to spend, don't immediately act. Pause. Ask yourself, do I actually want this? Or, does having this money feel uncomfortable? That tiny pause creates space between the feeling and the decision. 2. Let safety become boring. Don't try to become financially secure overnight. Give your brain evidence. Keep a small emergency buffer untouched. Watch it survive 1 month, then another, then another. You're teaching yourself something your old environment may never have taught you. Money can stay. Nothing bad has to happen just because your account balance is higher. 3. Separate then from now. When an old money fear appears, say something simple. That was true then. It isn't necessarily true now. Because your brain loves pattern matching. It sees today's financial situation and compares it to yesterday's. Your job is to remind it you're not living in yesterday anymore. And here's the part I really want you to remember. The goal isn't simply to become someone who makes more money. Plenty of people do that and remain anxious. They just become anxious with nicer cars, bigger houses, more expensive vacations, and a larger number in their bank account. The real goal is to become someone who can keep financial safety without immediately trying to escape it. Because wealth isn't only about what you can earn, it's also about what you can hold on to. So, if you've ever wondered, why do I keep ending up in the same financial place? Maybe you're not broken. Maybe you're not lazy. Maybe you don't simply need more discipline. Maybe you're running an old financial program, one that made perfect sense when you needed it, but doesn't make sense anymore. And programs can be rewritten. If you enjoy learning the psychology underneath money, not just the usual financial advice, subscribe to Shekswealth, because understanding money is one thing. Understanding yourself around money is something completely different, and that's where real change begins.